How's it going, guys? Just came back from Best Buy, as you just saw, and I'm excited. So, we are now officially at the beginning of the next generation of consoles. And just like Sony did for the PlayStation 4, Sony starts off with accessories. And today, I finally got my hands on the new Dualsense 5 controller. So, I've made a video before. I was able to pre-order the PlayStation 5, and with that pre-order I also was able to pre-order an extra controller. So I'm excited when Best Buy told me that the controller was ready early. I asked them if I can get the console early. Obviously I cannot, but today we'll take a look at this DualSense 5 controller. Now actually, believe it or not, like I said, I'm not as excited for the games this generation. I'm more excited for the technology. And one of the things that is in particular that's different about the new PlayStation 5 is its controller. As you can see, the design is different. It's got a lot of really unique tech inside of it. So I'm looking forward to unboxing it. So let's take a look at the box. And just like how Sony usually does, it's a very classy, clean looking box. Right here we see DualSense wireless controller. I guess sometimes I call it the DualSense 5, but it's actually the first DualSense. It's not a DualShock anymore. It's made for the PlayStation 5. Now, one thing that was interesting to me was here. Compatible hardware only mentions PlayStation 5. So the DualShock 4 you could play on the PlayStation 3, and that's why I was excited to pick that up early, because I wanted to actually use it on some of my PS3 games. But this one, I'll have to wait until I actually get my PlayStation 5. Here's the front. Again, nice clean packaging, minimal. Some of the tech that I talked about before, haptic feedback, adaptive triggers. I think that's like the tension on the actual triggers. Haptic feedback is kind of similar to, I guess, the Nintendo HD Rumble, so the way it kind of vibrates. It's got a built-in microphone and signature comfort. So I haven't actually looked at too much preview content on the DualSense, but from the way that it at least looks, it looks like it's going to be a lot more comfortable. It's going to be a little bit larger, which is only thing that I had to complain about DualShock 4. But without further ado, let's get into the unboxing. So typical Sony fashion, we have a box within a box. So that outside box that we looked at was just the sleeve. Why is this kind of stuck in here? It's very tight. Wow. Okay, so be really careful. I already tore the edge of the box. Why is this so tight? So that was kind of crazy, but mine was like skin tight. So here's that sleeve that we went over. Let's move it out of the way. Now we have the box within the box. Another clean white box. Let's take a look. What's the best way to open it? Here we are. So inside this wrapping, very nice presentation. This is my first time holding the DualSense 5. We have some paperwork, which I don't think we need. Any other accessories here? First interesting bit that I noticed, box is empty. So besides this paperwork, you don't get anything, meaning you don't get a charge cable. That's a little bit strange, wasn't expecting that. So let's take a look here. Wow, okay. So I haven't opened it yet, but I'll tell you, first thing first, it's got some heft to it. It actually feels really good in the hand. It has a nice weight to it. But let's take a look at the actual controller. Let's pull it out of its sleeve. Wow. Wow. Okay. Now that's different. So one of the first things I notice right away is the color. It's not really white. I had a PlayStation 4 Pro Glacier White. This is not really white. It's got a hint of gray in there. And I really like the color. It's really different. Okay. And wow, the way that it feels in the hand, I'm actually surprised. It fits right perfect. It's really comfortable. So far, this controller really impressed me. Triggers feel nice. Touchpad feels, a lot heftier and better than the DualShock 4 touchpad, which felt just very thin and hollow. This one feels really, really good. L2, R2, R1, L1, those feel good. But wow, okay. I guess one of the major things that I'm really taking away from this is the fact how the grips are wider and they're not as thin as the DualShock 4, and that just makes it way more comfortable to hold. And oh wow, I wonder if the camera's gonna be able to pick this up, but there's a really nice fine texture here on the back, which gives it a nice grippy feel. And actually this material here isn't glossy, which is the way that it looked on all the promotional material. It's kind of a matte white gray finish. Wow, so far I'm really impressed with this controller. So right at the top we have USB-C. Another difference I notice here is the PlayStation button. It's not a circular button anymore. Now it's kind of just the PlayStation logo, which really looks clean. It looks really, really nice actually. Down here, I guess we have a microphone port here. I'm assuming here it looks like we got a little LED around the touchpad, similar to the DualShock 4. We have these two buttons here, which last time were share and options. This time they don't have any writing on them. The D-pad feels good too. I like using the D-pad. Triggers feel nice. And wow, overall, first impressions, it's a really nice controller. It's a nice upgrade from the DualShock 4. And I'm really happy that Sony actually decided to change up the design and go with something different. So not only does the console look really unique, but the controller looks really unique as well. So here's some other things that are kind of a standout for me is these buttons here. They feel perfect, feel fine. But actually I kind of miss the fact that they're not colored. They're just this monotone look. The PlayStation symbol too, I wish it had the actual traditional PlayStation logo so that this controller wasn't so plain looking. I mean, at the end of the day, does it really matter what the controller looks like? Nope. Do I still love it? Is that the feel is what's important, and it definitely feels fantastic. I really like the feel of it. So let's compare this controller right here. I happen to have the anniversary edition of the DualShock 4 right here. Let's take a quick look and a quick comparison. So yeah, now as soon as I feel this one, wow. The sticks don't feel as tight, but that could be because of, over time with use. The buttons still feel very, let's see. Yeah, not that much different. I mean, the new controller, the buttons just feel a little bit better. But see right here, like I really liked that right there. The original PlayStation colors on the actual PlayStation button. I like the circle, triangle, square, and X having all these different colors. That would have been awesome, but wow. This just feels cheap. And it's crazy because during the entire console generation, that thought never went through my head that this didn't feel good enough. But yeah, now this feels like a flimsy toy compared to the DualSense 5. But yeah, here's a comparison here. And yeah, you can see the size difference here. The DualSense is definitely bigger, but it's not way bigger. It's just the right amount. It hits that right balance. And again, now comparing it to that, it looks, again on camera, it just keeps looking really white. But in reality, it has a nice bit of gray to it. And I'm really liking it. One of the other things I'm really excited for is I hated this micro USB. And I'm just so happy that now we're upgrading to USB-C here. So I'm excited about that. Another thing is, remember this light bar here the DualShock had? Unless I'm mistaken, there's no more light bar. Light bar is gone. I guess maybe the lights around the LEDs are going to be the indicators. But so now I don't have an Xbox Series X, but here's a comparison real quick to the regular Xbox X. One X, I should say. And See, like this controller still feels really good, but now the heft, it's comparable. Finally, that's a big upgrade. So now finally the Dualsense controller has that like wider grip so that it fits really nicely in your hand, similar to the way an Xbox controller fits. And that was the one thing I think that really made the Xbox controller superior to the PlayStation controllers, is the fact that these grips were wider so that they just fit really nicely in your palm, just like that. And now I can finally say that the PlayStation controller has a very similar feel, if not better. Just the way that it fits right in the palm, it's actually better, I think. You can tell that they put some time into this one to get the design just right. One last controller that I do want to compare to another controller I really like is that's the Switch Pro controller. And this one, yeah, it feels great. This is a great controller. But again, now, like, this one feels a little heavier than the Xbox controller and the DualShock 4. But it doesn't feel, wow. Yeah, the difference is there. Like, this one just feels way more premium in the hand, even compared to the Switch Pro controller. Now, the Pro controller is really nice. This one also fits really well in the hand, and just the layout. I generally just really like this controller. I feel like I had a lot of fun playing games with this controller. And this one was also USB Type-C, which I really enjoy. And I'm just really happy that Sony has decided to upgrade like that. But yeah, I mean, I unfortunately can't test the haptic feedback, can't test all that stuff. I will do that in time when I get the console. But first impression so far, I'm extremely excited. And this actually made me more excited for the next generation of consoles. Because if Sony has actually put in the effort to change up the controller for once, I really am excited to see what they've done with the console. So far, first impressions, really excited about this. It's a great controller. Let me know your thoughts. Did you guys get a controller? Are you guys excited for the next generation of consoles? Are you guys getting a PlayStation 5? Let me know down below. And hopefully, I'll be unboxing the PlayStation 5 soon. Hard to believe that it's coming up so soon. But until next time.